I'm still a little bitter over that Green Bay game, I won't lie. But you know what? It's in the past. All we can do is look ahead to the future here in Philadelphia. And who do we have? But a cupcake team in the Tennessee Titans. A team that, when I honestly looked at the schedule this year, I said, that's our unsuspecting loss. That's the game where it's just like, oh, they're going to go in and cream that team. That's the loss. But you know what? It can't be a trap game this year. Well, obviously, because you didn't win the week before, coming off a high confidence. And we've seen this all too often here in the Chip Kelly era of the Eagles, and that getting these sub-500 teams and whipping them, like you saw with the Giants earlier this year, like you saw not so much with the Rams, a bit more with Jacksonville, a bit more with the Panthers. We have no problem doing that here in Philadelphia. We come up and either find a way to win against the inferior teams or confidently win against the inferior teams. And the Tennessee Titans are an inferior team. Mettenberger's a third, fourth, whatever string quarterback. He shows an ounce of promise, but there's no go-to guys on this Tennessee Titan teams. Not a single one, at least that I've saw. There might be some young guy that ends up being a stud in a few years, but the team is just a fucking mess. And I've even been saying, and I'm on the record saying in a lot of my review videos, that the Tennessee Titans are what I feel the worst team in the NFL. Forget that record shit, because Oakland plays a lot better than what their record is. By the way, congratulations to them for finally winning a fucking game and almost blowing it by celebrating on a third down sack. Anyway, get to that in the review week video. Anyway, do I think the Eagles are going to win? Absolutely. I'm going to predict them to win without a shadow of a doubt. And they're probably going to kick the piss out of the Titans. But I'll tell you what, if they somehow lose and have their first home loss of the year, coming off the heels of that Green Bay game, it is going to be code fucking red here in Philadelphia. And the entire brink of the season will hang in the balance of that Dallas game on Thanksgiving Day. As if I'm nervous enough going into that fucking game. I don't need to go in with a loss to a cupcake team. Shady, you're still my favorite player on this team. I'm rocking your jersey. I have no problem with that. But man, Ray Didinger said it best and put things into perspective for how your year is going so far. Ray Didinger is a sports reporter here in Philadelphia for a number of years. And he was on a radio interview with WIP, and he said, the one thing about Shady this year is, just think about this, is when's the last time you've seen him break a tackle? When's the last time he was in the grass, someone like had him by the thigh and he high kicked out? Or he's grabbed it by the hips and he did a little turn move and got free and went into open field and busted another 20 plus yards. When is the last time you've seen Shady do that? I can guarantee you it probably wasn't from this year. This is a game where Shady has to find his way. McCoy, you've got to bust out a 120 plus yard ground attack in this game. You have to. Did you see what Pittsburgh had to do to this team to win the game? Like I said in my NFL Week Review video earlier this week, when the game was on the line in the fourth quarter and all Pittsburgh had to do was sustain a drive and kill the clock, there was absolutely nothing Tennessee could do to stop the run. You can tell me you're not a better running back than either running backs. First of all, one of the running backs is a quitter on Pittsburgh. You can tell me, McCoy, that you're not a better running back than that? That you can't sustain a drive like that just on your legs alone? They were crowding the fuck out of the box. Tennessee had every man up on defense, and they still could not stop the run when the balance of the game was at hand. When all they had to do was make Pittsburgh go 3 and out. Christ, I don't even think they even got to third down on that drive. If they did, it was once and it was a short yard or two. Anyway, this is a team that is at the right place at the right time for the Eagles to build some confidence, to sustain some sort of momentum going into Dallas. You got to play Dallas 2 times in the next few weeks. You need some momentum going into those games. Because like I said, you know, I'm not even getting ahead of myself. I'm not even getting into that Dallas game. Because we got to get by the Titans. We got to get by the Titans convincingly. We got to restore faith. We got to have Sanchez look somewhat like a decent quarterback. And it's not so much that Sanchez looked bad, and I know a lot of people said, or some people said, I should say, to me that, you know, I didn't really pick on Sanchez much for that Green Bay loss, and it's like, oh, would you worship him over Foles just because you hate Foles? Now, Sanchez looked like shit, but the problem is the entire team was just such a collective of shit that it was hard to point out just one guy over here, one guy over there. Because Christ, if I had to give the piece of shit award to that game, it would go to Bradley Fletcher, who, by the way, is still on this team, and if Mettenberger has an ounce of common sense, he will throw at whatever side of the field Bradley Fletcher is on. Because I guarantee you're going to have at least 80% more connection rate if thrown to that side of the field. Man. You know, all faith isn't gone because there's still opportunities to get convincing wins and prove that there is not some sort of like psychological stigma, because that's what I think it is. It's getting to be psychological at this point, that you can't beat those above 500 teams like a Green Bay, like an Arizona, like a 49ers team, those teams that they've lost to this year. So while I won't take that much out of this Titans game if they come out with a big convincing win, the one thing I will take out of it is, can they build off of this? Will they build off of this? Or will they go in against a well over 500 team in Dallas, go to Dallas, and lay down and die and get their turkeys stuffed? That was a bad line. Anyway, I almost said pun. Guess it was a pun. Whatever. Shady, I'm looking at you. It's one of the main reasons why I'm rocking your jersey in this video. You're my favorite Eagle. I think you're the single most talented player on this team. Just raw, natural ability and talent. You've proven it in the past. Prove it tomorrow. Prove that you're just going to run the ball down the fucking throat of this team. It's a very soft defensive team. Very soft. If you can't get it done tomorrow, Shady, there's no confidence I have that you're going to get it done against anyone else this year. Especially Dallas. A team that is well overachieving their ability on defense. But you know what? I keep getting ahead of myself. It's all on Tennessee. The problem is I keep getting ahead of myself because a lot of what comes out of this Tennessee game is going to be reflective of what I'm going to think about that Dallas game. It's a home game. You're undefeated at home this year, Philly. Don't fuck it up and lose to your quote-unquote easiest home field opponent. Get it the fuck done. Sanchez, got to keep him under 40 passes. Got to keep him under 40 passes. You can't expect him to have a single-digit turnover performance or no turnovers if you're going to keep him over 40 pass attempts. Can't expect that. I'm sorry. That's just the guy you're not going to get consistent completion ratios out of. Keep his throws low. Keep his throws low and to the point with Sproles. Utilize him out of the backfield. I want to see Polk get a little action. Get some little smash mouth yards with him. I've been saying this week after week. Anyway. Eagles, all hope is not lost. But it's time to prove it against these little rinky-dink teams like this when you get an opponent like this. But let's be realistic. I'm nervous as well because this team almost stole a victory right out of the hands of Pittsburgh. They beat Pittsburgh for 3 solid quarters of football. I ain't going to sit here and say, like, this is nothing to worry about at all. Is it a completely undermatched squad compared to this Philadelphia squad? Absolutely. And Philadelphia should win, especially at home. Don't take them that lightly. It's still a professional team of football players. And the term any given Sunday exists for a reason. This ain't college football. This ain't shitty, this is NFL, which stands for not fucking lame-ass college fucking football. Anyway. Go Eagles and go McCoy. I'm looking at you in this one, boy. Get it the fuck done, man. Get it done. Have a good day, everyone. And why not? Fuck the Dallas Cowboys.